G'day from Australia. Sunny back again with my chicken journal. Putting in the third signature, last signature. Last video I put in the second signature, and the first signature I put in off camera. First signature that's going in the book I wanted to do a couple of things with, so I'll do those on camera. And I found some pretty vellum with some daisies on it and some pretty sky paper, countrified. So I think that one's really pretty for a front page. I've had this paper for at least 20 years, so I would not be able to tell you where to get it from, sorry. And then this paper here is some paper I made using the white part of the napkin that you pull off with watered down PVA glue. It's got some glitter, some silver foil and some flower petals in it. This side I love, beautifully textured. This side's really smooth. And this black here's come off of I use one of those barbecue mats to do it on. They work like the silicone mats, but they're not quite as good. Oh, there's a beautiful chocolate cake on this side. I was using the biscuit photo. Now I don't know, I like the chocolate cake. That's gorgeous. And you can vaguely see through it. I think I'm going to put the chocolate cake there. So what I am going to do is sew around that one, but before I do that, I also have a piece of grid paper which has run away on me. There it is, which I'm going to put on this side and sew around it as well, but I'm going to rough it up a little bit first. So I'll just put that out of the way, grab my piece of really grotty paper, my brown stamp pad, and I have sponge dauber, very old one. I'm just going to mess up the edges. So it's actually tearing, it's quite fine, this stuff. Grunge it up a little bit, make it look a bit old and farmified. That's not a word, is it? But that's alright. And then I think I'm just going to add a little stencil on it, just to add a bit of interest in the background. But you'll still be able to write on it. The writing may be a little bit bumpy because it's on this textured paper. I am going to make a writing board to put in this journal so that you can write on things with a good hard backing. I've got this stencil, again, bought a long time ago from a place called Country Papercraft in Western Australia. She actually does some things online, so you can look her up. And that's love with passion, laugh with pleasure, live with promise, a little butterfly and a flower. Won't all fit on there, so I'm thinking I'm just going to do the love with passion and laugh with pleasure. And I'm going to use my little makeup brush, which I've purchased from Kmart, on my ink pad. And I always start with the brush on the plastic and then go off onto the words, because then often when you put the first bit of brush down, it's really dark. This way you get a much more even colour. And just go over that stencil. Love this stencil. It's gorgeous. Oh, my A's coming apart a bit there. Sitting back, I'll have to be careful there. Wait. Just going to go up this way. That way it will hopefully come out alright. It's not meant to be super beautiful. There we go. Quite happy with that. So I will just sew around those after, and just before I do that, I'm going to get this next page, which is a paper bag. I'm thinking I'm going to leave this pocket. It's a nice big, it'll be a really deep pocket. So I'm going to sew down this side. And if you don't sew, that's fine, just use some glue. Or you can punch some little holes and hand stitch it, which will look nice as well. And I'm going to make a nice big tag to put in this pocket. I don't want another pocket up the back here because it's Well, it's only a paper bag. Not sure how well that'll hold up, but that's fine. So I just need to measure the size, which the height of my journal is about 8 inches, I think. So I need, my other pages are 7.5 inches. So we only want 7.5 inches, which brings me to, just fold that down, brings me to there. So I'm just going to fold this over, because you don't want those raggedy edges to get in the way, and we'll trim off the top of this. This is how I usually work. I just do things as I go, figure it out as I go. I have a rough plan in my mind, but it never ends up the way I think it's going to end up. The plan always changes as I go, and it's a junk journal, so that's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. So I'm just going to fold that over like that, so when you, then it won't be in the way of the pocket. I actually might fold it down a little bit more, so we've got plenty to play with. Try and neaten this side up a little bit. There we go. I don't know what's with my throat these days. I seem to have to keep clearing it. And I've still got a lip here for this pocket. What I will do though is I'm going to ink up that edge so that it stands out. Bring back my grotty piece of paper, slot that in there. I might use my brush this time. I don't want to, yeah, just going from the paper onto the paper bag. Hopefully I'm still in shot. Ink that up there. And after I put it in, I'm probably going to put something on the front of this to decorate it. Stick something on there, maybe another pocket even. Just ink up these edges, make it look a bit grungy and older. And I'll ink the top edge as well, and I'll sew this one down as well. I'll probably do, I think I'll do, I might actually glue the underneath down here, and then I'll put a line of sewing across the top. That way this won't like flick back up when people are taking things in and out of the pocket. So you're going to still see this side as well, so we'll ink that up as well. Sorry, this is a bit boring, but going pretty quickly. Doesn't take long. Don't really need a lot on here. Just love the look inking does, and you don't have to ink. I don't always ink. Depends what mood I'm in really, whether I ink or not. There we go. There we go. Now your edge shows up. It's not even folded in half, but that's okay. Got plenty of space in the journal. Let's just double check that. Yep, that's not going to hang out. Ooh, just fits in. It'll be right. I don't mind little bits hanging out. I'll probably actually put some tabs on there later so that it does hang out. So I'm just going to sew around this one and sew the pieces on this one, and then I'll be back with you shortly. Rightio, back again. So I sewed around here just with a straight stitch, and I've sewn this one on with a wiggly straight stitch, and I used zigzag on this one. Don't know how well you can see that, but that's what I did with those. So we've got these 2 pages, this page, and I think this might be a bit long. That's okay, that'll be fine. We'll work with it. And these are my other pages, so I'm going to put, I think, this one in front of the paper bag, And the order I put my papers doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want. You do what you want to do on yours. Got an envelope here, which has been stuck down. So what I'm going to do is slice across the top so that it opens as a pocket. Get rid of my junky paper. I just use my ruler and a knife. Just take a little sliver off the top here. There we go. And we've got 2 pockets. Oh, and this side is open. Yay! So we'll glue that one down. Use some tiger glue on this one. I will be sticking some things on the front of this envelope after I put it in. I'm just going to do that on my scrappy paper. Glue's just going to squidge out of there. There we go. And we'll have a pocket on each side. Once it's in there, might glue that down a bit too as well. Make sure that stays down just on the edge here. Just squidge that a little bit with my finger so it doesn't go out everywhere. This corner needs a little bit of glue as well. There we go. Very good at getting messy fingers when I craft. I use my fingers a lot. There we go. So I have 2 pockets, and what I will do with that is use a circle punch. This one. This is actually I'm not sure what it is. Oh, it's Fiskars, yeah. Had it for a long time. So all I'm going to do is punch a little spot in the top. I just eyeball it. Uh-oh. That didn't work very well, did it? It's alright, we can tidy that up. Doesn't like thin paper. So what some people have said is add an extra piece of paper behind it. And then it should punch really well. So I'm going to do that on this side. Just going to put this sticky note paper on here. Let's see if that works. So normally this punches really good. Just going to eyeball the middle. There you go, much better. There you go, that works. Add an extra piece of paper when you've got thin paper, and your punch will punch better. There we go. So I will ink up those openings as well before we put this into the journal. Use the brush. Brush is a lot less harsh than the finger dauber. And I will be sticking things on the front of this when after it goes in there. I just want to get this one together before I decorate it, so we can it's ready to go. There we are. Back to our signature. Now all these papers are too tall. We only want 7.5 inches. So this paper is some scrap paper that I've then painted on the back of with leaves, and this is from my granddaughter drawing. So I am just going to trim off the 2 edges of that because I don't want all the white around it really. I'm only going to do it roughly. I'm not going to do it with any sort of perfection. Let's do a rough line up. There we go. Keep those bits of paper. And that. I'm going to have to trim all these papers down to fit in anyway, because the width we want is just under 5.5. How much space have we got on there? Yeah, so 5.25 actually would work better, or just over. So what I'll do is line all these up and put this piece of paper in here. This one's got some cool recipes on it. It's out of a magazine. This one here, I'll cover those later. I might put the envelope there. Then I have, this one's too long, but what I'm going to do with this one is fold it in. And it can flap out then for you to write on. This one, this one, this one. So that's from a cat journal. I'm just thinking I might put this one in the middle, I think. And fold this side in as well. This is coffee dyed paper, just using stencils to get the patterns on them. So let's put them all to the bottom. We'll work out the height that we need. Make sure they're all pushed in so they're reasonably lined up. So the height I need is 7.5. So we go from this side, because all the papers are down that way. I want 7.5 inches. So I'll just put a little mark there. 7.5 is a little mark here. Then using my ruler and a sharp blade. Hopefully this works all right. Should be a nice sharp blade. Trim these papers off. Just keep going along the ruler's edge until I get right through. There we go. Get rid of those. That should be our correct height. I just measured that, check that. Beautiful, exactly the same as the others. And our width is about here. Which I'm just going to do them separately for the width, because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one just yet. So I'll trim these ones down. So I'm just going to line the lines up on my cutting mat. There's my pencil mark. Line it with that line at the top. Trim it down. There we go. More scraps to play with later. That's those couple of pages. I'll just leave those open. So this next page, this is the one I'm not sure about, because 5.5 will chop off that sewing line. So I didn't work with that very well, did I? But that's okay, because what I might do, what will we do? How far is that going to stick out if I leave that there? It's going to stick out a bit there. So I might just fold it in and look like it was meant to be like that. See how well that folds. It's quite solid, this material, but that's alright. Might use the bone folder on that one. There we go. And you can open it up, see the cake. And we will fold this side in the same place. So I'll just make a little fold mark there. And there we go. So you can still open it up, see the whole thing, and we fit in here with ease now. So now that those ones are done, we'll leave that over there. These ones, they're all fine. We're just going to make sure we don't cut that folded one. So 5.5 inches, a little bit less. 1/8 of an inch less. I know that's going to make it a little bit longer than the others, but that's okay. I mean, it's a bit shorter. I'm not going to cut the fold on that one. So that's all good. That's all good. And line up with that line. Trim the edge off. Trick with this is to make sure you keep your ruler still. And always put your knife way up against your ruler. There we go. You can cut those edges. No, they're all good. So that goes in the middle of this. So now I'm going to center this one again. Put this in here. Check where my pages are. Put this one up in the center. Actually, I might put it down in the bottom. That way it'll get 2 holes. And it gives a bit more dimension. They're at different levels. And I might put this one on the top. I'll leave the envelope in the middle. That'll be fine. There we go. Oh, need our vellum daisies. And perfect. Now these may, I don't think they will stick out actually. Should be just fine. So that's good. So now I need my little pattern that I used. Open this up in the center. I've got quite a bit in this one. Definitely going to clip it. Here's my little clips. Hold this in place. Just going to hold one side. Hold that there. My awl and my pattern. Move the cover out of the way. And these are the holes where they go. Might just do a pencil mark. One there, and one there. That's our holes. Make sure they're all nicely pushed in together. And I'll stick the awl through. When I'm doing it like this, sort of angle the awl at a little bit of an angle to make sure it gets through the actual center of the pages. There we go. And I'll leave that in that bottom one. And then we need our thread, wax thread. And I'll go 1, 2, 3 times the height of the page. Where's my scissors? Good question. Here they are. Put those in there. There we go. Got that threaded on the needle. Put plenty through so I don't lose it. Start in the middle. Line it up with the middle hole. Actually put this all through this bottom hole. The hole's up there. Middle hole, through there, through there. There we go. Out through there. Back into the top hole. Through the top hole that we've just punched on our papers. Pull that through, leave a bit of a tail so I don't lose it. Then we can take it all out, got that all lined up there. So that should go straight through. Yep, perfect. And then back through the middle one on the other side of there, hopefully, without splitting the thread. The one thing with this wax, what I like with this wax thread is it makes it easier to get your needle through without splitting through the thread, because it kind of, the wax sticks it all together. So there we go. Pull that through. Take our needle off. Got tons of thread here. Probably don't really need 3 times, but I like having that bit extra. Check on the outside here. It's all nice and tight. There we go. Always check here as well. Make sure it's holding tight in there. And we've got one on each side of the middle thread. Left over right. Right over left. Oops, what have I done there? Right over left. I just feel like a donkey. And then I'll do a double over and over, just to finish that off. I'm just going to trim this one down to about the length of the page. Get rid of that. Leave that there for the time being. Take our little clips off. Oh, did I put that in the right way up? Oh, that's a good question. Yes, I did. I was lucky. There we go. The third journal in. Looks a little bit off. Oh, I must have put my whole thing around the other way. Whoops. It's alright, it's not far off. There we go. Third signature in. Woohoo! Now, we're ready for decorating. So next video, I'll decorate part of the journal. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you wish. Love to see you watching and hope you come along for the next video. Cheerio!